these blessings, we have to say thanks to the Almighty, man.
Linking the region, reaching the world. This is the Caribbean Close-Up. In this edition, Barbados' Prime Minister David Thompson loses his battle to cancer. The Caribbean region is said to be on rebound from recession. And public sector workers in Trinidad and Tobago prepare to intensify their protest action. Hello, I'm your presenter, Lisa Joseph. David John Howard Thompson, Prime Minister of Barbados, passed away on October 23, 2010. Mr. Thompson had been ailing for some time, the extent of which became noticeable in a loss of weight and long absences from office. It was later disclosed on Mr. Thompson's approval that he was suffering from pancreatic cancer. David John Howard Thompson, the 6th Prime Minister of Barbados, was born on Christmas Day, 25th December 1961 in England, but grew up in Barbados. After a long career in law and politics, he was elected Prime Minister of Barbados on January 15, 2008. And Mr. Thompson's former Deputy and Attorney General Fraudiel Stewart, a 61-year-old lawyer, is the new Prime Minister of Barbados. In other news, St. Lucia is on the lips of the world, all owing to the decision of the selection panel of the West Indies Cricket Board to appoint 26-year-old Darren Sammy captain of the senior team. It is an historic moment for the 238-square-mile island nation. His appointment also came after Chris Gayle was sacked as West Indies captain. The Jamaican batsman, who is 31 years old, had been in charge of the side since 2007, but his future as skipper was in doubt after he turned down the offer of a central contract with the board. In other developments, the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, says the Caribbean region is gradually recovering from last year's severe recession. In a new report, the IMF says tourism appears to have turned the corner, but it notes that tough employment markets in the U.S. and Europe constrain the industry's growth prospects. Real output in the Caribbean is likely to grow a marginal 1% this year, after declining more than 3% last year. The IMF says prospects are somewhat more favorable in countries with lower debt burdens and lower dependence on tourism. And on the political front, the Barbados Labour Party leader Mia Mottley has been ousted by the BLP's parliamentary group. At a meeting, the group of MPs voted to support former Prime Minister Owen Arthur as leader of the opposition. The chairman of the party, George Payne, said the majority of the parliamentary group had no confidence in Mottley, a 42-year-old Queen's Counsel. Over in Trinidad and Tobago, thousands of public servants took to the streets in support of their demands for increased salaries as the Public Service Association, the PSA, called for a national strike. The PSA is demanding that public workers would not be accepting anything less than 6,000 TT dollars, that is equivalent to 1,000 US dollars a month, and the union's president, Watson Duke, said that the authorities were maintaining their original offer. Duke, who met with the chief personnel officer, while the public servants assembled outside the building, later said, "It is war. There will be no work, no work, no work, no work." The authorities are said to be offering 0, 0, and 1% over the 3-year period, and Duke said that it is time that public workers begin to get a sip from the chalice. He said it was important for public workers to stand up for their liberation, and that when the national strike is called, no one must go to work. And this is where we come to the end of this edition of Caribbean Close-Up. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Lisa Joseph. Until next time.